What golden nugget of information do you have to share? A scorpion can hold its breath for 6 days. So don't think drowning it will help you out of your scorpion problem. So I flooded my house for no reason? Fuck. And on the 7th day, God finally managed to drown that fucking scorpion. Even if you aren't willing to give mouth-to-mouth on an unconscious person, chest compressions alone greatly increase their odds of survival. If bees were paid the minimum wage, a jar of honey would cost about $200,000. Edit. Wow. My first gold, first awards, actually. Thank you, kind Redditor. For a garment to be labeled Made in USA, the process only needs to be started and finished in America. In the case of a certain ladies' underwear line, the material is cut in USA, shipped overseas for assembly, then shipped back to America where a seamstress sews a Made in USA tag on the item. Source: underwear factory worker. Semen washes off best with cool water. Using hot water can cause the proteins to denature and makes it stickier. A moose can run 40 mph through 6-foot deep snow. The first president of Zimbabwe was President Banana. Did his voters find him appealing? Holy shit, this blew up. Thanks for all the upvotes and awards everybody. I'll just take my karma and split if that's alright. When choking on food and can't get help, you can get into a push-up position and then just drop down. The ground hitting your stomach and chest will cause what you're choking on to dislodge. Edit. Someone has commented to explain that this was created by a fireman, not something that firemen necessarily do. Edit. Thanks for the gold. Edit. You can also dislodge by jabbing the back end of a chair into your stomach. Please look in the comments for more info. I had a heart transplant 5 years ago. When your heart is replaced, the surgeon has to cut the main nerve that gets the signal from the brain to beat, and/or increase the intensity of the beat. Without this, vagus nerve, your new heart has no regulation and pumps blood out of habit. You no longer have a fight or flight response and your new heart beats at 90+ beats a minute. Right. I have no internal regulation over my heart rate. My new heart beats purely from muscle memory. I can't think about it for too long because it's just too freaky. Speaking of golden nuggets of information to share, goldfish lose their color if they are kept in dim light or are placed in a body of running water, such as a stream. The main reason we stop doing something we love is because we forget our love of doing it for enjoyment's sake and replace it with the desire to be good at it. There are about 60,000 characters in the Mandarin language. A very literate person will know 20,000. The average person from 5,000 to 10,000. If uneducated, around 3,000. I don't know any, so I guess I'm fucking stupid. I met a German girl who had studied Mandarin in university. She said she knew about 6,000 characters, which was about enough for her to read the newspaper. The German paper. Horses have a massive blind spot on the front and back of their body. If you are ever around a tame horse, keep a hand on their body while walking around them. This lets it know where you are at all times and decreases chances of kicking out of shock or fear. This also prevents them from kicking you with as much force. You need to stay very close to them for the full benefit. This is similar with goats, as they instinctively fight things coming head-on and should be approached from the sides. Also, ears are the gateway to a horse's feelings. Pinned back ears indicates an anxious or angered horse. Pinned straight up indicates curiosity and focus. Artillery was responsible for over 70% of combat casualties in both world wars. And 4% of the sand on the beaches of Normandy are still made up of shrapnel link. Each one of the Yamato-class battleship's main gun turrets weighed over 3,000 tons, heavier than the average U.S. destroyer. If you were on a destroyer in the U.S. Navy during World War II, you ran the risk of having to fight a ship whose primary weapons alone displaced more weight than your entire vessel. Gary Newman is 13 days older than Gary Oldman. The Earth wobbles really slowly like a spinning top. It takes about 26,000 years to come full circle. In the process, the northern star changes. This is called precession. If you see a job you really want but aren't quite qualified for, apply anyway. Don't tell yourself no, make them tell you no, you might be pleasantly surprised. Both my son and daughter followed this advice and got a job that turned into a career. Airline ops guy here. If you check in a bag at an airport with an hour or less before departure, it has a 50-50 shot of making it on the plane. Just like the TSA line, bag security can back up too. I regularly see 30+ minute in screening statuses on bags. Then, it may be pulled for a hand screening and search. This is random and TSA doesn't care when the flight leaves. So now we are at about 25 minutes to departure and your bag has only just now entered the sort system. It will take another 5 to 10 minutes to sort out to the person who loads carts with bags. Here, the problem is that there may be 7 to 10 other flights coming off of the same conveyor belt. They have to see your bag's tag out of maybe 50 other bags, so let's assume another 5 minutes. Your flight's bag cart was delivered planeside at an hour before departure. It is now 15 minutes to departure. The bag room has seen your bag and has it on the back of a tug racing to the plane. 7 minutes before departure the baggage compartments are closed and total weights are being submitted. Your bag has missed the airplane. TLDR, please check in more than an hour before your flight if checking a bag, or else it might not make it on the plane. All colors of Fruit Loops have the same flavor. Also true for Play-Doh. If you ever have a baseball bat and need to use it as a weapon, put a sock over it so if someone tries to disarm you they just slide off the sock. If you carry a baseball bat in your vehicle for self-defense, also carry a baseball glove. Even if you don't play baseball. Your lawyer will appreciate it. Put a sock on my baseball bat and carry a baseball glove as well. The gray rock treatment is an incredibly useful method of dealing with narcissists and toxic people. If such a person is going at you verbally or behaviorally, screaming or posturing or trying to fight, become like a gray rock in a river. No reaction, don't answer, no movement, just sit calmly and let the stream of crazy flow past you. Bonus points if you can stare blankly. When people thrive on causing a reaction, they absolutely cannot compute when they get no reaction. If you're in physical danger, obviously react to keep yourself safe, but don't argue, explain or defend verbally. You'll never change a narcissist's mind, it's just walking on a treadmill. Obviously not foolproof. Keep yourself safe first and foremost. Edit. OMG. Thanks for the awards, I'm very humbled. Edit number 2. So many people have correctly pointed out that with people prone to physical violence, gray rocking can make them angry enough to escalate. Please evaluate your situation, and the abusive party, and use whatever tools are necessary to protect yourself. People often underestimate how big a billion actually is. An easy way to conceptualize it is to think of it in terms of seconds. 1 million seconds ago was 12 days ago. 1 billion seconds ago was 1987. The tensing of leg muscles will deflate an unwanted erection. On the timeline of human history, the ancient Egyptians lived as close to the ancient Romans as the ancient Romans lived to us today. The reason that they did not teach about the Aztec Empire for Oxford's first few hundred years was twofold. The Americas had not been discovered and the Aztec Empire had not been founded. A single spaghetti noodle is called a spaghetto. I thought a spaghetto was a place where poor Italians lived. If your older parents, grandparents are suddenly acting strange, get them checked for a UTI. In older people, UTIs can cause a psychotic or delusional episode. What are the chances my parents have both had UTIs for 20 years? The Outerbridge Crossing is a bridge that connects Staten Island, NY to Perth Amboy, NJ. You probably think it was named that because it's the outermost bridge in New York City. Wrong. It's named after Eugenius Harvey Outerbridge. Wait, is Eugenius a real name? That's amazing, I'm calling my kid that now so whenever he does something stupid I can go, gee, nice one Eugenius. Caterpillars are physically unable to burp. Thank fuck for that, can you imagine? The human anus can stretch up to 7 inches before taking damage. A raccoon can squeeze into holes as tight as 4 inches. meaning you can take almost 2 full raccoons up your ass. A 30-min walk every day decreases the of you getting dementia. I keep meaning to do that but always forget. Newly registered nurse working on a hematology ward and learned that stem cells smell like sweet corn. Edit. Thank you all for the upvotes, award and heaps of useful info. Mentioned by a few in the thread. I believe it's the preservative solution that they're kept in that smells and not the actual cells themselves. My colleague also mentioned this when I asked about the smell. But thank you all for a very interesting thread. PM_me_your_stem cells. Even though you have a VPN, it doesn't necessarily keep you hidden if skilled people wanted to find you. There are many things that can leak your IP that you have to isolate and fix, such as IPv6 leaks, DNS leaks, and WebRTC leaks. Also, every add-on you add to your browser, it gives you a unique fingerprint that can lead back to you. You're not as secure as you think. Joke's on you, I used incognito mode. The odds of you finding a gold nugget in a day are 0.0000784% on average. So you are telling me there's a chance? If you're in the woods and smell cucumbers, there is a copperhead snake nest nearby. Copperheads plant more cucumbers than all other species of snakes combined. Getting older is fucking awesome. 53M. I feel confident, secure and healthier than I ever have in my entire life. I wish I could tell my 28-year-old self to relax and enjoy the ride more. There are 3 ways to refer to a gathering of geese. If they're on the ground, it's a gaggle. If they're flying but not in a V-shape formation, it's a skein. If they're flying and in a V-shape formation, it's a wedge. Heat the back of a spoon gently and press it on a mosquito bite for a few seconds to greatly reduce itching. The heat breaks up the protein in the venom. Edit. As this got traction, you only need to warm it up under warm water. Whilst a 3rd-degree burn with a red-hot spoon does, technically, work, I wouldn't advise it. PFFFTI am not heating the bottom of a spoon where I live, buddy. X of Y is the same as Y of X. So if you're struggling to find 26% of 50, maybe 50% of 26, 13, is much easier to do quickly. Armadillos give birth to 4 identical twins always. Kangaroo has 3 vaginas. 3 times the fun. Peanuts are not nuts, they're legumes and they grow out of the ground like potatoes. Nuts and drupes typically grow on trees and/or the seeds of fruits. You can be allergic to tree nuts and not be to peanuts and vice versa. Wherever you are, be there someone wiser than me. Edit. Wow. Thanks for the love, everyone. I do try to apply this to my life and I feel like this has a great meaning. I've had this quoted to me by several respected people in my life. Not sure where it originated, but words to live by. On YouTube, you can directly click at the end of the video and then play replay. All ads will be removed. Edit. Thanks, it's my first reward. Laughing face. Control plus Shift plus ESC opens straight to the task manager instead of Control plus Alt plus Delete and then manually selecting Task Manager. That a strong sense of doom is a medically recognized and majority common precursor to having a heart attack. Here I am waiting for my heart attack for the 8th year. Edit. As someone mentioned, there is a difference between dread and doom. The concept of 3 square meals a day is a diet designed for people working physical labor in the early 1900s. Quality of diet and sticking to daily calorie limits is the only part that really matters. Otherwise, it really doesn't matter what time you eat, although the 3 square meals model is indeed advantageous for day-long maintenance of energy levels. Basically, it's better to just eat when you're hungry than force yourself to eat when you should, so long as you're getting the proper nutrients, etc. Don't buy French bulldogs. They're a fad breed that was sick to begin with, and so many people are being scammed by backyard breeders and puppy farms. They're depressingly broken. If you do buy one, even from an official breeder, be prepared for allergies, ocular bleeding from eye pressure, hip dysplasia, cheery eye, trachea collapse, twisted spine and dreadful breathing problems. They are expensive. Too many teen girls buy them and can't afford the allergy meds and food and just leave them to suffer. One visited the clinic last week, collapsed and died because of an extra long walk in the sunshines. Don't do it. Let this breed disappear and buy a dog with a nose, please. Edit. Read about their problems before buying one. Don't buy one. Get awesome pet insurance and treat every problem seriously and immediately. Link edit. Thank you kindly for the awards, dear people. Appreciated, but while imaginary internet points are lovely, a bit part of this is education. I want to look down the lens of the computer screen and talk to you. Yes, you. The person feeling lonely. I quarantine browsing Craigslist and Kijiji and Gumtree at puppies. Damn, those Frenchies and pugs are cute, right? You can't help what you like. I think fat cats are cute. Very wrong as someone who works in vet. But I don't encourage it. I educate people on the health benefits of a slender kitty, and my own cats are on strict diets. Don't feel bad for looking at pictures of playful pugs and Persians, but I ask you to consider carefully when you reach out with your wallet. There are many brachycephalic breeds, but I called out Frenchies because right now they're the fad breed. One appeared in Modern Family and suddenly everyone wanted one. Just like Beverly Hills Chihuahua, in the 3 years there will be a glut of these in rescue groups and no one will want them because they're sick and expensive, and OMG, that kids cartoon has a Yorkie in it. I really want one, mommy. Because they're an it breed right now, and because everyone in quarantine thinks now is the perfect time for a puppy, the unethical backyard breeders are churning them out on a factory line. I've participated in 20 cesareans this year and all of them is either a Frenchie or a bully breed, another fad breed we have concerns about. 2 mothers died on the table and another at home from dystocia bred by randoms who delayed too long before coming in and were trying to make a quick buck. The other C-sections were harrowing close shaves that I dread. All the ethical breeders out there have their litters booked until September. They're also setting their prices high because they want those desperate for a particular breed to see rescue groups as a viable option. So chances are that if you're buying now, you're buying from a quick buck breeder. And those dodgy breeders are looking really good right now. The good, ethical breeders are $4,000 and not available until next year. And rescues. I know. They do many marvelous things, but they are strict. I've known them to turn down wonderful owners for minuscule things. You can jump through all the hoops and still be turned down. Craigslist breeders don't ask questions and you get to cuddle your puppy. But these guys Suick. Don't put money in their pockets. 3 people are telling me their Frenchies and pugs are healthy. I'm happy for you. But they're the lucky ones. For every healthy one born, you're condemning 4/5 to a life of scratching and wheezing. And they still have breathing problems. When you buy into the breed, you're saying, yes, that cute face is more important than their comfort. What if your mother had a choice between breathing properly and blue eyes, and she picked blue eyes? I liken it to when you have a cold and both nostrils are clogged. Yes, you can enjoy life, smile and laugh and enjoy food with your friends and play tennis. But it sucks. Aren't you relieved when that cold is gone? Imagine living your life like that. You have that choice when you pick your puppy. 4. The fact is you won't love your puppy because they're a pug or a Frenchie. You'll love them because they're yours. They're your sweet comfort after a long day. When you have the choice between supporting a non-brachycephalic breed with a nose and a history of unethical breeding practices, would it really change your love for your pet? 5. If you have your heart set on a pug or Frenchie-type dog, look into crossbreeds like Puggles, Beagle or Jack Russell Cross, or Boodles, Poodle. They're cute and they have a nose. They can breathe. At the end of the day, I just want dogs to breathe. Also, Ragdoll Harleyjane has a wonderful post for those who are in the "you're wrong" side. Spoken with far more thoughtfulness than I link. In the 16th century, Turkish women could initiate a divorce if their husbands didn't pour coffee for them. Canadians say, sorry, so much, that an act passed in 2009 states that an apology would not be considered admission to guilt. Most people replace their computer or run them into the ground when they get hot and slow. When in reality, new thermal compound and a solid-state drive upgrade can fix both problems and increase its lifespan for about $35 to $50 and isn't incredibly hard to DIY in most cases. Never miss a chance to piss. Manhattan's layout is largely grid-based except for Broadway, which runs at a diagonal through the city and ignores the grid. This is because before the rest of Manhattan was developed and was mostly farmland and open fields, This is the route the cows took out to pasture, and its continued use over the years by people and cows meant it was simply left in as the city developed. Broadway exists. BC Cows edit. I've been informed this isn't entirely correct and that the path was originally forged by Native Americans. Unfortunately, this is just what I learned in a city planning course and thought was an interesting fact. Definitely didn't mean this maliciously. Look people in the eye. Say please and thank you. Salespeople will go out of their way for you if you show appreciation. Domestic cats don't meow to communicate with other cats. They use meows almost exclusively to communicate with humans. Edit. I should have specified that this applies to adult cats and not kittens. And I'm sure there are exceptions. Here's some information about it though. Link. It's 100 times better to break up when you're in a shit relationship than trying to fix it up for the nth time. In Germany we have a saying that would translate to, it's better to have it end in terror instead of having terror without end. Seasonal allergies are almost entirely man-made ailments. When planting landscaping trees and bushes in the 50s and 60s, people didn't want to use female trees as they didn't want fruit to fall on streets and on people's cars, so they opted for almost entirely male trees, thus drastically increasing the pollen output.